Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. Doing the first time I see myself in the camera fiddle here. Sorry. Oh, gosh. How are you guys? Are you staying warm? My goodness. Seems like almost all of us are under some kind of serious weather nonsense going on. So I'm curious to know. I hope you're all well. Definitely, we're in kind of a weird period. I want to tell you that this broadcast will not be airing on 1 2 Radio. It is only here on the live streams. And the reason for that is because 1 2 Radio this week is airing our prediction shows. And there's it's about a 3 hour show, I believe, of predictions that we put together as a collective. There were 11 of us. I also am one of them that sent in a prediction, a show for the year. Mine's about 15 minutes long. They started airing yesterday. It airs again today. I didn't want my show to get in the way of that, so I'm going to just stay here on the live stream only and stay off of 1 2 Radio's channels today so that I'm not getting in the way of already scheduled programming. So that's what's going in. Going in. That's what's going on and in and down and up and, whatever. There's probably a that's what she said joke somewhere, but it's okay. We don't have to always make it, do we? We do. Yeah. Just said she's snowed in on day 2. We were supposed to have like the blizzard of the century last week. They always predict these things and then they don't really happen. And they did not. We had some snow, but not very much. We're into the extreme cold right now. We had, oh my goodness. So, my daughter that lives in Montana, their lowest low with wind chill was 55 below. And if you've never been in cold like that before, cars don't like it. It's really hard on cars. And they don't want to start, and you have coolant problems and heating problems, and it's really common to have car issues. Well, predictably, she did. Her car froze, and meaning like she didn't have enough antifreeze in her antifreeze. Some of it was water, and her engine block froze. Uh, Luckily, did not burst, but she did burst a plug, so she had antifreeze spraying everywhere. Once she was managed to get her car heated back up, her dad had equipped her car with a charging situation so that it wouldn't be dead. Uh, because she's nervous. She's 7 hours from home and scared about her car not starting. And then, sure enough, it didn't start. And well, it is starting, but anyway, it was having antifreeze problems, and the uh, thermostat was frozen open, well, broken, stuck open, so she didn't have any heat. So imagine driving around in that. So anyway, long story short, after a major meltdown, she reached out to a lady she knows there who's a big fan of and supporter of the softball program. They've done a lot for softball. She and her husband own a few dealerships in town. And these wonderful people had a tech come and get her car, take it to one of their shops, fix it, and deliver it to her at work and wouldn't let her pay them a dime. It was so kind. And she called me in tears. She was so touched. It's those kinds of things. The repair would have been like maybe $200. She was prepared to pay it, or I would have paid it. Like it wasn't that big of a deal. But the fact that they just extended that kindness to her and told her, we love the softball girls. We will always take care of the softball girls. Don't you worry. They even tried to arrange a ride for her for work this morning because the car wasn't done yet. Luckily, she had a friend that took her. But sometimes it's important to allow other people to take care of you. It's hard for her to ask for help. She didn't want to ask anyone to help her give her a ride to work. And I mean, that girl will help anybody anytime. That's her MO. But to have to ask for help was tearing her out. Now, for somebody to come and fix her car, to go to all of the work that they did, like, wow. Anyway, it was it's a beautiful gesture. I am wildly appreciative of this wonderful family, and of course, she's going to go home and bake cookies and take to them. But What a wonderful thing to do. And I hope that in this world right now, in this world of division and yuckiness and ugliness, she had just gotten done texting me about a customer that had just given her a rundown of all of the terrible, bigoted things he had been doing to gay people and threatening to kill people and eh, saying all kinds of horrific things just in casual conversation. And she was horrified by the stuff he said that to have these people just turn a nice turn for her. I think it's important for us to remember. It's important for me to remember that there's a lot of wonderful people in this world, and we need to keep our focus there as much as possible and be them, of course. But yeah, so my heart is very full today. That was wonderful. Maya said the prediction show was great. Thank you. The prediction show, well, and bless Jay because I missed the deadline to turn mine in. I completely forgot. I'd had kids here and it was, we were just acting like we were on an extended Christmas break around here. And he kindly sent me an email and said, "Hey, did you still want to do this?" And gave me an opportunity to do it anyway. And I did. But anyway, I hope that the prediction shows I think are hard because it doesn't matter what you say, you might offend somebody. And here in the US, especially on an election year, do you dare talk politics? Do you not? Like, what do you do? I did. I went there gently, but I did. I even predicted the presidential election. We'll see. We are in a time of chaos, so we'll see. Sid said, I've changed my clothes 8 times or 12 times today so that I can stay dry going out in the rain. Oh my goodness. She said, Patchouli must think we're going on a cruise with the constant dressing and undressing. Oh my goodness. If you didn't listen to the prediction show, it's going to air every day this week on 1 2 Radio. So you should be able to find it. If not, I believe it's also in our archives. So it's there. Yeah. Okay. But I will say that my predictions didn't indicate that this will be the worst year we've ever had, but also did indicate that we'll have a fair amount of struggles globally and collectively. The collective energy looked to me like it was going to be a little bit more of a growth year for all of us in a positive way. But yeah. Oh, Jessica said 5 to 8 inches in Middle Tennessee. Oh gosh. My older kids went, they took a trip, these kids, to be in your 20s again, right? So they planned a trip with 15 of them to go celebrate Micah's birthday. Micah turned 24 on Sunday. And you believe I have a 24-year-old because I can't. But here we are. Anyway, so they took 15 of them got together. They booked a big Airbnb in a resort town in more into northern Idaho. They drove up there. They paid for a place that's a tubing place that you they have a thing that drags you up the hill and then you ride their tubes to the bottom, just a fun sledding hill type thing that actually motates you up the hill. And so they paid for 2 hours there. They went to a local hot spring and soaked. They went to the little nightlife, the bars that they have there and spent a night bar hopping and playing downtown. And at any rate, they just had an absolutely marvelous time. It's so much fun. And then came home to 12 new inches of snow. And all their friends had parked in their driveways or in their driveway at their house so that they weren't on the road because there was supposed to be snow. So everyone was snowed in. So then they all had to work together to get everybody's cars shoveled out. And oh my gosh. And they were expecting to get 6 more. So yeah, Boise's really getting hammered. A lot more snow than Boise normally gets. Wild. Yeah. Laurie also cannot believe I have a 24-year-old. I know. Insane. Oh, you are so welcome, Tara. I'm so glad they got there. even shipping to Canada, which shouldn't be that big of a deal from the US to Canada, right? I went to the post office and they were like, "Well, you can't ship this." And I'm like, "I think I can." And they said, "This package is too small. You can't. Our labels don't fit on a package this small." So I had to take my package and put it in a bigger envelope that belonged to the post office in order to ship it. It is so wild. International shipping has gotten hard and frustrating. But hey, it got there. So if you're wondering why it's in two packages, that's why. Because I went too small. Silly. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it's wild. It wasn't crazy expensive though. I've had other international shipping that was we have people sometime on Etsy that buy hoodies and stuff that the shipping is as much as the hoodie. It's crazy how much they pay to ship stuff. But anyway, I guess it's worth it. It must be worth it, but I've always been amazed that people would even want to buy something and ship it overseas because it's so expensive. So it's not that bad. It's not so expensive to ship to Canada, but the hoops were kind of stupid. But whatever. It's fine. It's whatever. Anyway, well, there is plenty to do, plenty to cover. So for all of you football fans, did your teams win? I was really sad to see the Eagles go down, mostly because I just love Jason Kelsey. And it sounds like he really did retire. So end of an era for him. But the yeah, that's sad. Anyway, but I was glad the Chiefs won. I don't know. I don't have much of a dog in the fight anymore. But Tara said it costs her less to ship to the US than elsewhere in Canada. Wow, that's crazy. Shipping in general has just gotten crazy expensive. It used to be that if you could put something pretty flat and light in a little padded envelope that was close to like letter size and ship that for like 50 cents, a dollar. You can't do that anymore. Not even close. But, I mean, everything's more expensive, so it's not that big of a surprise. But I've hated to see what shipping has done. It sucks. But then again, it's way less expensive than flying there and hand delivering it. So, what do I have to say, really? Well, I wanted to get into Luminous. I had a lot of things in there I wanted to talk about, and we're going to do a card spread today. So, I should have told you that immediately so that you can grab a deck of cards if you want to play along. But we are going to learn a spread today because, gosh, all we need to do right now is work on ourselves, work on our own intuition, work on our own gifts and talents, our own goals. We need to keep our eyes on everything else, of course. I would never tell people to be unaware of what's going on in the world. But at the same time, hey, Jennifer, at the same time, and Jane, I also want us to find a way to focus a lot on the things that matter. So here we are. Oh, I made a bunch of new copper cuff bracelets over the weekend. I was going to have them to show you today, but I have been down a little bit. I've been under the weather. I actually spent a quick night in the hospital a few nights ago. So, and I'm actually good. Don't panic. It was scary for a minute, and then it was actually totally fine. So, uh, but my stomach has just been very uncool. So anyway, I don't have them done to show you, but I will. But they're more of the cuff flame painting copper bracelets. So copper has the coolest property that if you apply heat to it, it changes color. And so you can take a big, a bright, pretty piece of copper, and especially if it's like sanded and formed and engraved or whatever you want to do, and then apply heat to it, and it changes colors, and it's actually just really freaking cool. Rico, no. But Anyway, so I made 6 more of them to go on Etsy, and they are so pretty. But the flame painting, seriously, I could just do that. With copper, if you heat it so much that then you don't like it, then you just heat it again and it'll erase all of your flame painting and go back to its original color, and then you can try again. And so it's kind of like I kind of feel like it's kind of like gambling because if you ever gone in a casino and you put 20 bucks in and you win like 100 and you're like, "Okay, okay, I'm going to play this down to like $80 and then I'm going to cash it out and then I'll have the money," right? But maybe you will or maybe you won't. But for a minute you had exactly what you wanted and then maybe you screwed yourself over, maybe you had restraint and you didn't. But it's a gamble because you get it the way you want it, and if you're greedy and you keep going and then you start getting ugly colors or it starts to like brown out or it kind of doesn't brown out, it gets kind of like this gray color anyway, then you have to come back in, cool it off, heat it back up so that it goes all back to the regular copper color and then start again. So I've had to laugh several times at myself in getting too greedy, trying to go way too far, and here we are. But at any rate, I will have some bracelets to show you. They turned out absolutely beautiful. I was super impressed with them. So that's all. Hey, Mary Chris. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. First class is going up to 68 cents next week. Wow. That is bananas. Oh, Sid said she just saw copper art for the first time. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you. If you go over to TikTok or YouTube and or even Reels on Facebook and look for flame painting, people are unbelievably talented. I am not anywhere near the realm of what people do with copper. It's amazing. What I also they have torches that are way better. I'm just using like a kitchen torch, and these guys have got torches that like they're adjusting the tip, they're how wide it is, they're adjusting the heat, like they're doing all of these adjustments as they go that just turn out it's phenomenal. Just phenomenal stuff. Yeah. I could definitely do a bunch of practice maybe and get a lot better. But for my little bracelets, I just want to change their color, a little bit. Like people will take like a big round piece, as you know, Sid probably, and use the flame to change colors in different places of it to create like a picture, like a flower or something. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So who knows? Maybe someday I'll play with some bigger pieces and get a better torch. But for now, like what I'm doing works for me. But at any rate, yeah. Okay, let's do pull up Luminous and we'll talk about some things there. Okay. The cover is really inspired by Kelly's article. She was talking about a lot of goddess stuff and goddess energy. And I was thinking about that and designed a cover that was goddess E. And I think goddess and tree art go so beautifully together. And goddess trees, that's a passion for sure. And I thought this was just absolutely lovely. So, all right. So I did call this edition, it's the all in the cards edition because here we are. I mean, we're going to do a card spread today. We're going to throw the cards. The Daily Dish indicated that today is a really psychic day, so I thought that would be perfect for us. But before that, in my musings, I put together a list of 25 things you can do to perk up. We are in the throes of being low energy right now, which sometimes does roll into also being depressed. And I don't want that for any of you. I don't want that for me. You might find yourself there, and there's nothing, I no shame in it at all. But the collective is low right now. January is historically a pretty rough month on people. And so sometimes you have to be a little bit more mindful of your energy and your actions and what you can do. I'll tell you something that I find myself doing, and I don't know if this is true for you guys, but I know that if I find myself in a survival mode space, perhaps I'm sick, or perhaps I'm just really busy, or perhaps something else is going on in my life that's keeping me from really attending to my regular self care, my regular routine, and I cut some corners, sometimes I don't cut back. You know, I forget to go back to what was working. I think we're all guilty of that. And sometimes it's really good to just kind of reevaluate like, what am I doing for me? What am I doing with my time? What am I doing that's helping me? What am I doing that maybe isn't helping me? And just kind of reevaluate. And over Christmas, because my kids were home and we were just, being lazy a little more and just being a little more, I was a little more free with my schedule. I I kind of had to remind myself, like, this is what actually works for me. This is my routine that keeps me in the place that I like to be in and get back to it. But I think we're bad for that over the holidays. We throw caution to the wind. We throw our checkbook to the wind. we maybe throw our diet to the wind or whatever. And then in January, we have to find a way to pick up the pieces. And that might be a bit dramatic, but I think you get the point. So let's hit it 25 ways. Start with a positive mindset, positive thoughts, positive affirmations, focus on the happy things. When you get out of bed and you have like, maybe you oversleep. So you hop out of bed like in that panic. And then maybe you stub your toe or you burn yourself on your coffee or, a couple of things happen and you're like, well, this day's screwed, you know? And that's the time to stop yourself and go, okay, is this the day I want to have? It probably isn't. So, how do I reset myself? But starting with a positive mindset, I think, is really important. Practice gratitude always. Morning exercise, if you can, and if you do, even a little stretching can be enough, or a walk around your yard, or even a walk around your house. But just a little bit of movement of your body will help to get those endorphins up and running and get you feeling good. A healthy breakfast, if you eat breakfast. Some of you don't. Some of your bodies don't like it. I don't do breakfast. My body's much happier if I wait. And so I do coffee, and that's good enough for me. But I know me, and you know you. And I think a healthy breakfast, or at least doing something for yourself, is important if that's what you do. Hydration, fill up your water bottle first thing in the morning and keep it with you. Plan your day. At least have a sense of where you're headed today, what you want to get done. Be fair and reasonable with yourself. I keep all of mine on a whiteboard. I have a big whiteboard in the kitchen that I keep a running list on, and Scott keeps a list on too. And then we have kind of a collective list in the middle of here's some things we need to do together, like, go to the pharmacy or the grocery store or get an Etsy order out or something like that. But my own stuff is on my own list, and I mark things off during the day as I go. But that's one of the first things I do in the morning is take a hard look at my list and what do I need to do or want to do. There's always needs and wants on the list, and they don't always all get done, and that's okay. They don't have to. But I think planning your day helps you to stay more organized, get more done, feel more like you're accomplishing your goals. Take short breaks. Give yourself chances to relax and recharge. You don't have to always be going. We've all known people who could not slow down for nothing. I think about my grandmas, that in when they were much older, how useless they felt because they weren't always going. We have to find a way to allow ourselves to rest. We have to find a way to allow ourselves to take breaks and instead change the narrative on those two, that those are breaks that we deserve, because you do. Connect with loved ones, reach out to friends or family members, even if that's just a quick stint on social media, as long as your social media actually is positive for you. Mindfulness or meditation, you can always do a little meditation, practice a little breathing, even if it's just a short thing, 10, 15 minutes, less if that's all you have. Even if all you have is a few minutes to stand in the middle of the floor and breathe and just ground and center yourself, that's all you have to do. Yeah. Listen to uplifting music in whatever fashion that is. You know, I think it's fascinating that some people uplifting music for them is like hardcore, like heavy metal. And other people listening to that flattens them to the floor or other kinds of music. Some people, the thought of listening to something like classical music grinds their gears in a way that they would hate it. It wouldn't be uplifting for them. And other people listening to certain pieces of classical music might make their whole day. You have to know you and give yourself the freedom to be uplifted by the music that actually uplifts you, not what somebody told you would uplift you. Does that make sense? Express kindness. Always express kindness. Performing random acts of kindness or not random acts of kindness makes an enormous difference in the lives of others, but it also makes an amazing difference in your own brain chemistry. There's a lot of studies that are showing that service is one of the most powerful ways to lift yourself up and boost your own happy hormones in your brain. Learn something new. Always be learning, right? Always be reading, always be really curious, always. This is what I love. This is one of the things I really love about the internet. There's a lot we can say about the internet that's not great, but there's a lot of great stuff too. And one of the great things for me is getting curious, like Sid, looking at finding copper art and probably just falling down a rabbit hole, right? And watching a bunch of things and being amazed. And maybe you won't learn how to do it yourself, but just celebrating somebody else doing something cool is also learning something new. And with the internet, there's so many opportunities to learn things. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Enjoy nature. Spend time outdoors, even if it's just a short walk. Yep. Even as we always said in early childhood, there's no bad weather, there's just bad clothes. You could always bundle up enough to spend a few minutes outside, unless it's 55 below, then let's just not. But truly, in general, you can always get a little fresh air. And for me in the winter, if I'm really, I need that connection to nature, but it's just too cold outside, we'll just take a little drive. That sunlight coming in the window, if there is any, still makes a big difference. And maybe you roll down your window and breathe some fresh air for a few minutes, but limit social media. Give yourself a break from social media when you need it. There's no shame in social media. You can use as much or little of it as you want. But the idea of limiting social media is if social media is depressing you, if it's upsetting you, if it's just pissing you off right and left, change something. Either limit your time there, really use the tools of whatever platform you're on to hone down what you see and what you're spending your time on. Liberally use the unfollow button. Don't let social media be the thing that keeps you stirred up and pissed off all the time. Just don't have to. Laugh. Watch a funny video, read a joke, spend time with funny people. To me this one is paramount. I listen to or watch comedy literally on a daily basis because it makes me feel good and it makes me laugh. There's some skits I could watch 1,000 times and still laugh about, you know? And I really love that some members of my family are also very into comedy. And a lot of times we listen to the same people and then we can laugh about, did you hear so and so say blah, blah, blah? That was hysterical. And yeah, comedy's where it's at. Okay. Positive affirmations, really kind of already hit on that, but declutter your space. I like the fly lady for this one. I like the 15-minute method. Tackle a room, give it 15 minutes. If you have 15 more to give, then give 15 more. But to me, I think I like the 15-minute method because it's not so overwhelming. Like, for example, my office really needs some attention. And I thought today I'm going to give it a 15-minute declutter. And then if I feel like it, I think I'll come back in and give it 15 later, and by the time you know it, I've probably given it 60 minutes and it's had all of the work it needed. But sometimes clutter just keeps you from feeling settled, you know? Where do you go for good comedy? Oof, it's so subjective, right? Because if you like politicians that do politics or you don't, or I think it's hard to say. I mean, for me, I think dry bar comedy is really good. Dry bar comedy is funny and it's uh, a little bit more family friendly and less political. Uh, I don't know, Laurie. You can always just go to Netflix and look at comedy specials too and see who you like. I follow a lot of comedians on TikTok because then you can just watch short clips of them and decide if their comedy is for you or if it isn't. Because definitely not all comedy is for everybody, right? But I love Kathleen Madigan. Love her. She's one of many, but she's one that I listen to quite a bit because she's funny as hell. Okay. Healthy snacks? Okay, fine. Or snacks, whatever. Creative outlet, always a creative outlet. Deep breathing exercises. You can do a lot for yourself by just stopping and breathing, especially from your core for just a few minutes and focus on your breath. Even if you don't have a clue what you're doing, even if there's no mindfulness about it, you're just breathing and focusing on the ins and the outs of your breath. That does a lot for you. It's surprising. Set realistic goals. We've talked about this a lot, but break down your tasks into manageable goals. Will be amazed how much you can accomplish and how quick you can actually get to where you want to be if you just start somewhere. Express yourself. Share your thoughts and feelings with someone you trust. It's always a good one. You can also just journal. Nothing wrong with that. Disconnect before bed. Limit screen time before bedtime for better sleep. I don't do that. I'll freely admit that. I don't do that. It seems like a great idea, though. For people that struggle, I guess to be fair, I don't struggle to fall asleep at all. I struggle to stay awake. And so I do read before bed, or sometimes I just scroll TikTok or something, but I have no problem going to sleep. For people that do, I think it's a great suggestion and that you should read a paper book or something along those lines before you go to bed so that you're not, you know, getting so much blue light and there's a lot of science between the cones in your eyes and the light from your phone and stuff. But again, for me, this girl can sleep. For me, it's not getting to sleep, it's staying asleep. But actually, I have a very good system worked out these days that I am sleeping like a boss. Okay. Read inspirational content, books, quotes, or articles that motivate you. I really like this one because it doesn't have to be a lot, right? That could just be one site that you visit every day, or one quote that you read every day, or one, an inspirational calendar or desk calendar that has one thing on it every day. None of these suggestions have to be things that take you all day or that you do every day. But I do like the inspirational content piece. You guys remember the chicken soup for the soul books? I loved those. Man, for years, my mom would buy me a new one for Christmas every year. I love anecdotal stories of people's miracles, of their joy, of their, I like the real life stuff. I want to hear what happened to you, and how you got through it. I mean, it's not always happy. I do true crime, but I like stuff like that personally. Reflect on achievements, acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishments every day. Every day. Be proud of yourself. Reflect over the day and what you did do that you feel good about, that did come together, even if it was small things. You got out of bed, you took a shower, Maybe you made the phone call that you've been putting off. Maybe you finally put away a box of stuff that's been sitting in the living room for, 2 weeks, whatever. It doesn't have to be big things. Little things are just as important because they add up. But that is 25 ways. And I think that all of them are important. I think all of them could be helpful. Some of them will apply to some of you guys more than others, but I think it's a good list to get us started on just being really responsible for our own vibe, our own energy, and working on ourselves. Okay. Oh, these guys love Kathleen too. She's so funny. Her bits about Oprah are so dang funny. And so many other things she says. She has a bit about visiting Temple Square, the Mormon church's headquarters, that it absolutely killed me. Being a former Mormon, you really know what she's talking about. And oh my gosh. At one point, she says, then they take you into the trick you into becoming a Mormon room. That sounds right. Yeah. But I love political satirists as well. Political satire is one of my favorites. And I know some of you guys may not resonate with what I resonate with, but I think political satire is hilarious for the most part. All right, Kelly. Brand new bitch astrology for her birthday week. So, obviously, happy birthday to the Grand High Bitchstress. We love you and appreciate you and love your work. And I hope you have a fabulous birthday. So, I'm not going to really get into it too much because she wrote quite a bit this week, but it is so good. And I hope that you guys take a look at it. Uh, she's talking a lot about how goddesses play into astrology and to all of us and the old stories. And I love it. By the way, are you watching Percy Jackson on Disney Plus? Maybe you're not. If you have Disney Plus and you like Percy Jackson, they have it's a new series. And it kind of sucks because they only put out one episode a week and they're short. They're not even like I mean they're only like 30 minutes long. But so we kind of Scott and I kind of went maybe we should stop, wait till the first season is done and then just binge the whole thing because 30 minutes once a week is leaving us lacking. But we haven't done that yet because they're awesome and so every week we end up watching. But anyway, so good. I love Percy Jackson. I love that they tell the old tales and the truth and because some of the old stories about gods and goddesses have gotten pretty convoluted over the years and anyway, I love it. That was just an aside. But definitely take a look at that with Kelly. All right. The card spread. Let's do it. We're going to run out of time if we don't do this. So let's do this. So this is my card spread for daily inspiration. See how big I can pull it up. Oh, that is not very big. Let's see. I might be able to. Let's see. Okay, that's a little better. All right. So I'm just using the Psychic Tarot, but this is a spread for daily inspiration. I love daily spreads uh, because I think it's just really important if you want to do cards that you have the some tools to practice and play with cards. I mean, they're a psychic toy essentially, and a psychic tool, but I think it's important to give yourself lots of opportunities to work with them. And so I really like, hey Sherry, I really like the idea of being able to use your cards to practice and practice your intuition. So this is a daily inspiration spread. So you're going to pull 4 cards. The first one is for yourself, kind of a what do I need to know today card. The second card is for your dreams. This is for your goals. The third card is for action. So, what do you need to do today? What do you need to focus on? What do you need to think about? And then the last one is for the world. What can I do for the world today, or what do I need to know about the world today? Right? So you take your cards, and per always, you got to have your little shuffling process. For me, I always knock on my cards to just knock the old energy out of them, the old reading out of them, whatever I did with them last. And then you're supposed to formulate your questions. So for this, it would just be thinking about all four of those questions and just what do I need to know today for daily inspiration. And then I'm going to shuffle my cards 3 times. Okay. And then I need to draw them. So people have a different, sometimes a different way for this, a different philosophy. Christy cuts her cards and pulls the top card. I know other people do things similar to that. That's what my mom did too. I like to fan my cards. So I'll fan them out either in front of me on my desk, or I'll just fan them in my hand. But I'm going to fan them really good. It depends on the deck because my hands aren't very big. And so if the cards are big, I'll probably fan them out on my desk in front of me rather than try and put them in my hand like that. But I've got a pretty good fan here. So then you have to pull your cards. So I'm going to start at the top here. So the first card is for me. So I'm just going to reach around my cards here and ask to find that card. Okay. How do you know? How do you know what card to pull? You reach over your cards and you feel your hand. Sometimes you'll feel like almost like a magnet. Your hand just gets pulled to a certain card. Sometimes you might feel kind of some buzzing in your hand and feel exactly where you want to go. Sometimes it's just straight intuition, right, Jane? You just look at those cards and you see one that you go, that's the one. But trust yourself and try a few things. For me, it's just reaching. I just reach over the cards, and wherever my hand gets led to, then that's the card I pull. All right. So here's the card for my dreams. All right. So for action, okay. And then last card for the world. All right. So I've got all four of my cards pulled in front of me. I always pull my cards face down and leave them face down until I'm ready for them. Partly because I think it muddies the reading if you have all of the information in front of you too soon, because your brain is going to start processing all of it and jumping ahead rather than focusing on the very specific spot that you are at. And so for me, I think you get a cleaner reading if you leave your cards face down and only address the card that you're looking at. By the time you're done, obviously all four of them are going to be flipped and you're kind of in that space anyway. But to start out, don't do that. So the first card for me, this is the card. It's the movements, choices, and decisions card. So for me today, and again, this is a spread for daily inspiration. So this is a what do I need to know today? Movement, choices, and decisions. So I'm going to take that as movement forward. That health wise, I am moving forward. I'm also going to take that as some choices today about what I put in my body, how I take care of myself, and what I need to know about how to care for myself. And that's the decisions. So, because my system has been very picky right now about what gets put into it, and I'm on clear liquids and have been for several days, and I'm very slowly incorporating some very gentle foods back in, and that's where my thought process is, and I'm going to take that as this to make some choices and good decisions today and move slow. Okay. Then on for my dreams. The card is financial and material changes. Okay. So that's giving me a heads up that in order to accomplish my goals, I probably need to plan on setting a little money aside, on maybe making some financial changes. This feels to me like just putting some money aside so that I'm ready for whatever comes, so that whatever I decide I want to do, I can do. For action, stand your ground. Well, okay. In other words, I need to advocate for myself and stand up for myself. And I can and will do that. But this is an important card sometimes, right? But that's an action that I may find myself in today where I need to stand my ground and stand up for myself. For the world, recognition and reward. Okay. What does that mean? Well, the first thing that came up for me, frankly, was okay, this is a good day for gratitude. This is a day for me to show some gratitude for someone who's done something for me. And that's what I'll do. Obviously, every reading is going to be very different because you are different than me and your life is different than me. But that's the gist of it, right? For me, for my dreams, or you could call that for my goals if you'd rather, for action and for the world. Four cards that give you a good sense of what kind of day you're looking at and some things that you may consider doing to have your best day. So hopefully that makes sense. Do you guys have any questions about that? Yeah. Jane said, I need to move out of the apartment and do my ta-da list. Or was that your to-do list? Maybe it's both. All right, let's keep moving through Luminous here. All right. Our energy exercise is the energy breathing technique from Christy, which is a great one. I think that really goes back to the earlier list about mindfulness and breathing. That she's got some good techniques there for you to be able to do anytime you need to. All right, over at True Crime Squad. Oh, there's a lot going on. If you follow the Daybell case with me at all, Chad Daybell's attorney has quit. That's right. The Resting Toadface gang is breaking up. Chad doesn't have any more money, and Pryor's not doing it for free. So the gang is breaking up, and it's going to put Chad's trial back by, I would imagine, around a year. So that's pretty wild. But as always, there's plenty going on. Anita brings us goddess Sarasvati. She's the Hindu goddess of knowledge, music, and the arts. A lovely goddess to connect to. If you ever wonder why a white lotus is always tied to spirituality, you can probably thank the goddess Sarasvati for that. Yeah, definitely read what she says about Sarasvati and connect to her. And Jamie, she says this is a great week for manifestation, and she's got a whole video about this roller coaster of a week and what to expect. So always appreciate that. And I've got a bunch of meditations up for you over on Planet Meditation if that helps you. They're there for you. And there you go. That is it. That's the magazine. All righty. Oh, Jane said it's both in the same. It feels less daunting when I name it the ta-da list. I love it. Ta-da! I emptied that box. Or filled that box, maybe. I love it. Sometimes I feel that way too. My Christmas tree's still up. And don't get too crazy. My Christmas tree is like 1 foot tall. I had a tiny little tree that I put up on a stand and made a bunch of glass ornaments for it, and it's still there, and I need to pack them up. I haven't packed it up because no. I know why. It's because I'm still a little daunted about how to pack up the glass ornaments with and preserve them for next year. So I was still thinking about that, but I think I have a good plan now. So, yeah, other than that, though, I didn't really put a lot of Christmas up. And what did get put up, Mars took down before she went back to work and or back to school. So it's there's not a lot for me, on that front. But I kind of like the Christmas tree. It might stay up a little bit longer. It's cute. It's the fiber, you know, what is that called? I was going to say microfiber, which is obviously wrong, but it's the little fiber tips, and so it's all the different colors. And I don't know. I like it on that stand. I might have to just buy like a little not Christmas tree to put on that little stand because I like having that light there. It's cute. Yeah. Oh, Jane said when I decorated for Christmas, I left it till Valentine's Day because I loved seeing them. Right? My mom didn't like having a Christmas tree. She liked having a fairy tree. And so she would actually go and to the mountains with my dad, and they would cut a quakey. She'd look like for an old quakey that looked like a little one that had died. She didn't want to take one that was alive, but she'd take one that had died. So it was just like the white spindly quakey branches, and then cover it in tinsely stuff and fairies of all kinds. She had the cutest fairy tree. And she'd usually leave hers up for a long time too, but I loved her fairy trees. They were really cute. I did one a few times too, but my kids wanted the Christmas tree. See, I kind of like that too. Jane said my mom's friend had a huge one she left up all year and changed decorations for differing holidays. That's kind of fun too, I think. See, you could do that with a fairy tree, because you could just and now when my mom would do this, they didn't really I don't think I'd ever seen these, but now you can buy a faux aspen tree that's already pre-wrapped with white lights they're really cute and you really could just have one of those all the time that you had Christmas stuff on, you had hearts on, you had spring stuff on, you could do whatever you wanted with it. I kind of like the idea of that. Maybe that's what I'll do. Yeah, damn it. Especially now that I'm making all this glass stuff, it has to have somewhere to go. I really want to get some hearts. I have an idea, ideas for hearts. I just need to get down to the glass studio and start breaking glass. Can't be that hard, right? Just kidding. Cutting glasses. I'll get better someday. It's hard. It's probably fine. Okay. Anyway, that is what I've got, guys. Again, 1 2 radio is down this week. I just didn't want to be down. I feel like this is a month where we really need this time together. We need to do these shows together. And so I'm here. But anyway, be sure that you do go over there this week and listen to the prediction show if you haven't. I'll be honest, I haven't listened to anybody else's. I also need to turn it on and listen to everyone else's stuff. I haven't had a chance to yet, but I'd like to. Uh, so I don't know. Maybe it's all contradictory to what I said and we're going to have to fight. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to fight anybody, but I think it's fun. What's a quaky branch? Oh, quaking aspen. We have lots of those. Lots and lots of those where I live up in the mountains. Thank you, Lillian. I promise I will. Oh, Tara made a crochet heart today. I'm thinking of making them for Valentine's and putting a Hershey's Kiss inside. Oh, that's a fun idea. I love that. There are so many cute or Valentine things that you can 3D print that I ordered some filament that will be here tomorrow so that I can make Scott print a bunch of stuff. Thank you, Jane. I love this mug. It got broken and Scott glued it for me, but I don't even care. This mug it's the best. Oh, thank you, Laurie. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. All right. Well, let's do it. Oh, she said the prediction show is amazing. Oh, good. Yep. Oh, Sherry said we found my husband's ring. It was super weird. It popped out at him in an elevator and no explanation. He's not on board with my spiritual things, but this helps him come around. Well, yeah, no kidding. Wow. Well, I'm glad that I'm glad he found it. That sucks. But I'm glad he found it. And maybe he will come around now. You can't see the break on the video. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's just right here. It's a big mug. It's big in the cupboard. It's kind of a pain in the butt, actually, but I don't care because I like it. All right, guys. I will be back next week, same place, same time. I will stream on 1 2 Radio next week as well. But thanks you all. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you very much. This has been another production of the Katie Weaver Show. Take care, guys. Have a great day.